First, we're going to need 400 milliliters of warm milk, 10 grams of active dry yeast. This is different from instant yeast. 20 grams of sugar and 8 grams of salt. Whisk that together. Next, we're going to add 600 grams of all-purpose flour. I'm going to use my hands and start working everything together into a dough. Now we're adding 30 milliliters of vegetable oil. So I'm going to transfer this to my countertop now that most of the oil is incorporated. Like that. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? We'll cover the dough. Place this in a warm spot and let it rest for 45 minutes, and then we'll come back and shape it. So here's our dough ball. It has doubled in size. So our yeast has been consuming and eating up that sugar, and it has created CO2 gas, air bubbles, which is great. We're going to remove some of that and now roll it up to form a log to cut in half. Now we're going to divide these into thirds. One piece of dough, and we're going to roll it out 5 by 6 inches or so. Roll it up. We're going to carefully pinch the seam and make sure everything is nicely sealed, including the ends. Give it a little roll so it evens out a little bit. Good. Now I'm going to place this on a parchment-lined baking sheet. Alrighty, my lovelies, I've got a big pot here with about 2 inches of water that I've just brought up to a boil. Now we're going to place our dough right into the water. Boom. Boom. So wild. Boil them for 2 minutes. And we're going to turn them to make sure that they don't stick to each other and that all the sides get poofed up. Look at that, they're expanding so much. 15 more seconds. Look at that. Wild. They look like pupa. They look like bee larvae. So this recipe comes from a Turkish YouTube channel called Gözde Yemek Tarifleri. Now we're going to take a razor blade and score the tops of the dough. This will help with the expansion as it bakes. So now we're going to pop these into a preheated 200 degrees Celsius or 392 degree Fahrenheit oven for 20 minutes. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back. The bread is finished. This is what it looks like. Not too bad, huh? A little bit wrinkled on the surface. Look how well it toasted though. So evenly, I didn't have to put a glaze on it at all. Really impressed with how well and how evenly it browned. And this is what it looks like underneath. So I baked this in a convection oven. I baked it at 307 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels kind of moist. It feels kind of damp underneath, like especially down over here. It feels a little bit damp. See it swirling, not huge. Looks a little dense. The bottom feels kind of squishy. The top is crispy. Alrighty, let's give this a taste. Itadakimasu. It's not bad. It is moist. It's slightly dense though. It could be a little fluffier, I think. But tasty. The top is I like the slight crispness on the top. I mean, it's freshly baked bread and it's hard to beat freshly baked bread. I will say the bottom portion of the bread seems a little bit almost damp while the top gets nice and crusty, which I appreciate. I think it could be a little bit fluffier. It is nice and rich though, we have milk in there, but I am really impressed with how evenly it toasted up in the oven. In my opinion, I have baked better loaves of bread, but this recipe did come together relatively quickly. There's only one rise, and it does have a very novel technique. And if this is the recipe that will get you into your kitchen baking bread, then I'm all for it. All right, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye.